Here's the full translation of the article into English without simplification. The greatest tragedy of living until the end is not being broke, but reaching 70 years old with these 3 family situations. Life is filled with hardships. Living is a kind of practice. By the time we reach 70 years old, we may come to understand that life is truly unpredictable. All we can do is do our best and leave the rest to fate. For ordinary people, life can be beyond their control. Everyone hopes that their life can be perfect, but reality is often cruel. Various problems continuously arise. After overcoming one hurdle, another new challenge appears. So, for most ordinary people, reaching old age, what is the biggest tragedy? Is it really financial insecurity? Actually, it is not. The wealthy are ultimately a minority, the majority of people are ordinary. Many individuals find it difficult to achieve financial freedom in their lifetime. Conversely, if one reaches the age of 70 and finds their family in one of these 3 situations, it can bring a heavy burden to their life. 1. Health issues. When one's health deteriorates to the point of being unable to care for themselves, it becomes a significant problem. As people grow older, especially after experiencing a serious illness, they will realize that a healthy body is far more important than riches. Even if you are wealthy beyond measure, living in a mansion and driving luxury cars, if your health fails and you are confined to a hospital bed, relying on others for daily care, suffering from pain, life becomes incredibly difficult. Many children may outwardly appear dutiful, but when it comes to the long-term care of their ailing parents, they may feel burdened. After all, they have their own families to care for and jobs to attend to. If you cannot manage your daily life, it puts you in a very passive position, filled with suffering. Therefore, one must have long-term planning. It's essential to take good care of one's health, avoiding actions that may overdraw your physical well-being. Control the amount of alcohol and tobacco you consume. Avoid prolonged sitting, late nights, and frequenting entertainment venues. Live a regular life with strict self-discipline. Even if you have little money in your later years, possessing a healthy body, the ability to eat, sleep, and go out to buy groceries is the greatest wealth. 2. Problems in children's marriages. When there are issues in your children's marriages, grandparents often have to help care for the grandchildren, which greatly affects their quality of life. In today's fast-paced society, many young people approach marriage and family life with a sense of restlessness. If they find any dissatisfaction in their marriage, they impulsively choose divorce. If there are no children involved, both parties can pursue better lives separately. But with children, it becomes complicated. Regardless of whether they live with their father or mother, the family turns into a single-parent household. This burdens the elderly, who must help care for the grandchildren since their children need to work to earn money. After a divorce, without a partner, grandparents naturally bear the responsibility. This leaves the elderly helpless. If their children's marriages were stable, they wouldn't have to worry too much and could enjoy their retirement. But if their children, for various practical reasons, get divorced, the grandparents are then tasked with caring for the grandchildren, limiting their freedom and greatly reducing their quality of life. 3. Children become ungrateful. Having devoted all your energy and resources to your children, it's heartbreaking when they turn around and blame you. All parents center their lives around their children, caring deeply from their birth through schooling and into their careers, hoping for their healthy development, academic success, and to eventually show filial piety and gratitude. However, reality is often disappointing. Some children may achieve high educational qualifications and secure good jobs, yet become selfish, especially after getting married and starting their own families. They no longer see their parents as family. One relative of mine experienced this situation. After his son graduated from university, he used all his savings to help with the down payment on a house. His son became a doctor in a city and, not long after starting work, got married. After having a granddaughter, the son asked his father to help care for the child. Once he went over, he found himself working like a donkey, spending 24 hours a day helping to care for the child, preparing milk, changing diapers, and doing housework. He diligently fulfilled his duties, but being older, he sometimes made mistakes in childcare. His son and daughter-in-law frequently criticized him, showing no respect for his age, which left him feeling cold and helpless. In reality, when the elderly help their children, they sacrifice their personal time. It would be fine if the children were grateful. The fear lies in having ungrateful children who see their parents as outsiders. This can truly hurt the elderly's hearts, making life in their later years very difficult. In a small town, there lived an elderly man named Mr. Wang. At 70 years old, he had experienced the ups and downs of life, yet he carried a wealth of wisdom shaped by his struggles. Mr. Wang often reflected on the journey he had taken, understanding that life was filled with challenges, and reaching old age wasn't merely about the number of years lived but the quality of those years. One sunny afternoon, as he sat on his porch, he watched the neighborhood children play. Their laughter brought back memories of his own children, now grown and living in distant cities. He remembered how he had dedicated his life to them, working hard to provide a stable home, supporting their education, and ensuring they had everything they needed to thrive. However, as he aged, he began to realize that not all of his dreams had come to fruition. While he had always hoped to see his children flourish, the reality was far different. His daughter, May, had gone through a rough divorce. Now a single mother, she struggled to balance her job and parenting. Mr. Wang felt the weight of responsibility as he saw her overwhelmed with stress. "Dad, I need your help," May said one day, her voice weary. "I have to work longer hours, and I don't know how I'll manage without your support." Without hesitation, Mr. Wang agreed to help care for his granddaughter, Lin. He wanted to be there for his daughter, but he also understood the toll it would take on his own health. At times, he felt the strain of sleepless nights and the physical demands of chasing after a toddler. While caring for Lin, Mr. Wang found joy in the little moments, the way Lin's eyes sparkled with excitement as they played in the garden or her giggles as he read her bedtime stories. Yet, he also faced challenges. There were days when his body ached, and he struggled to keep up with her energy. He often reflected on the importance of maintaining his own health, remembering the advice he had once received, "A healthy body is the greatest wealth." As months passed, Mr. Wang noticed that his son, June, was becoming distant. June had landed a lucrative job but was consumed by his career. He rarely visited or checked in on his father. When they spoke, it was usually to discuss finances or to ask for advice on investments. Mr. Wang felt a pang of sadness. Despite all the sacrifices he made, his children seemed to be losing sight of the values he had instilled in them, gratitude and respect for family. One evening, while they were having dinner together, Mr. Wang mustered the courage to speak up. "June, I've spent my life working for our family, and I only hope you remember to value the little moments, the time we spend together." June looked up from his plate, his expression unreadable. "Dad, I appreciate everything you've done, but I have my own life to build now. I'm doing this for the family too." Mr. Wang sighed, understanding the complexities of modern life. It wasn't just about the material wealth he had worked so hard for, it was about the connections, the love that bound them together. He felt like a stranger in his own family, which was heartbreaking. Then came a day when May called him in tears. Lin had fallen sick, and she couldn't leave work. Mr. Wang rushed to their house, caring for Lin, rocking her to sleep, and reading her favorite stories until her fever broke. In that moment, he realized that despite the challenges and the pain of feeling unappreciated, he had a purpose. He was there for his family, and that brought him immense satisfaction. As time went on, Mr. Wang decided to prioritize his health. He began taking walks every morning, practicing Tai Chi, and eating better. He knew that if he wanted to continue being there for May and Lin, he had to take care of himself first. With each passing day, he found renewed strength, both physically and mentally. One Sunday, as the sun set, Mr. Wang gathered his family for dinner. This time, He noticed June was present, putting his phone away to engage in conversation. The warmth of togetherness filled the room as they shared laughter and stories. Mr. Wang felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps his children were beginning to understand the importance of family. In those quiet moments, Mr. Wang realized that life's greatest riches weren't measured in wealth but in love, connection, and the memories created together. He knew the journey of life would continue to have its trials, but he felt grateful for the time spent with his family, for every giggle, every shared meal, and every lesson learned. As he raised his glass for a toast, he smiled, to family, health, and the precious moments we share.